So I think, yeah, I think when I was asked to think about the words that particularly exercised me, I what sprung to mind was a few words. Community is one of them that I think are used in code. You know, they're used by the social care system to the system, the people, the professionals mean one thing, and the people who are hearing the word hear another thing. And I think community is very much one of those words for me and for other people. You know, community means our neighborhood, our connections, our neighbors, the people we know, the people we care about, if we walk in a pub, the folks who know our name, you know, if we join a club, you know, the folks who would notice if we didn't turn up, you know, and I think that's what we all hear when we hear the word community. But I worry sometimes that the system, social care world, it's a whole code for a whole load of other things. I've heard community talked about by a lot of social care provider organisations or workers. They will talk about somebody being in the community today, or they will talk about somebody accessing the community tomorrow. What they mean is going out.
For me, I find language difficult because I struggle with multiple meaning words. When a word's got more than one meaning, I've just heard you say a word and I'm sat there thinking, now which way do they mean it? And often then I miss the rest of the conversation because I'm still concentrating on what that word means. And when I ask, they're like, oh, well, what about the rest of what I've said? I'm like, I haven't heard it. All I've heard is that word. And I'm now trying to work out how that word works in context with what you said. And if you use a definition that somebody is unfamiliar with or has a different term, you can both go down two different roads and not be in the same conversation as one another.
One of my other words is prevention, and I suppose that it's all linked, isn't it? Because there's kind of what are we preventing? You know, are we preventing somebody having a miserable, disconnected life result, or are we presenting them using expensive services? You know, and it's another one of those code words. You know, for this and some of these other code words, I think it's about being really, if we're going to use it as a word, being really explicit about what we mean by it.
The other words that annoy me, we talk a lot about independence. None of us are independent. We're interdependent, but we're never talking that way. And what I mean by that, like, I can't fix a car. I need somebody else to. So I'm not independent. There's a South African saying called Ubuntu, and Ubuntu for me is summed up quite lovely in this sentence. I am because we are. That sums up for me what good social care is. I am because we are. So how do we maintain that when we talk about independence? When people are talking to me through the lens of independence through assessment, they're talking to me, can you do more for yourself? I'm not an island, you know, and the people around me enable me to become I am because we are. And I'd love that to be what the building blocks of good care and support.
I think independent is another one of the of the kind of code words that you know, what I call the euphemism words, the words that get used by the system to mean something other than what the person hearing it is hearing. Independence and interdependence in our usual lives are totally and utterly connected, you know. So folks rarely tackle life alone. You know, they usually have family and friends and people they love and care about, or people that are, you know, providing services or whatever. You know, there's an interdependence in all. But I think in service land, I think it's used to mean doing stuff by yourself, or being able to do stuff by yourself, or not needing help to do stuff. So if you're going to go to that music festival, you're going to go independently. What that means is not that you've bought the tickets, booked the train fare, happily, you're confident and excited to go. It doesn't mean that, right? It means if you need a personal assistant or a support worker or somebody to give you a hand to get on and off the train and put your tent up or whatever, then you're not being independent somehow. So if you need some help, like I need some help with my roofer, I'm not being independent anymore. So there's kind of a code that is do it by yourself, do it without help, and do it in a way that doesn't cost money. Rather than, take the initiative, have the confidence, make it happen, which is the real meaning of the word, I would say.
The word independent makes me worried because different organizations seem to have different meanings for it. So it's another multiple meaning word, and quite often it's used in social care in a negative way. So it's about taking things away from you rather than actually giving you things. For example, if you've got an electric wheelchair or a power wheelchair, they will say, oh, in that case, you can go out independently, you don't need any help. Actually, that's not quite true, because you need help to open a door. You need help, in my case, to do medication when you're out and about, or to contact NHS services if you get poorly when you're in and out. So just because I've got an electrical powered wheelchair doesn't mean I can do without anyone's help. Yeah, the word independent is just kind of, how are you meaning this? How are you trying to catch me out? What are you trying to reduce now? And really, it shouldn't be a negative word. It should be a positive word, as what can we give you to help you to be independent, rather than what can we take away.
Striving for independence, independent living skills. There's all of this kind of stuff that's all about go stand on your own 2 feet. I think so. Again, it's another loaded one, and it's another code one. And I think the danger with all of the loaded ones and the code ones is that the person hearing the word and the person saying the word are not meaning the same thing, and neither realizes that. Something in all of the code words, where the definition is not agreed by both parties. So you can inadvertently find yourself, you're not speaking the same language, but you think you are.